Today, we are going to take the Rescue Cobra and turn it into a jet engine. Stick around and find out what happens. What's up, everybody? Beefcake here, just out running around in the 99 Cobra. First trip out, maiden voyage. We're actually headed over to Rob over at Rogue Race Cars. He's going to put one or two bigger blow-up valves on this thing. I told all you guys that that was probably the biggest issue that I was concerned with if we're going to get out and get on this thing pretty soon. I would like to take the car out. So we've got a couple of the 360 race blow-up valves with us, and we're out in the first maiden voyage. I'm pretty excited for it. So my man Sherrod over at UPR, Helm and Mark, you know, the guys over there, man, they do such a good job taking care of us. He definitely wanted to be involved in the project. He said we're going to update the suspension with a full setup of UPR products. I can't wait to see. He's got like a surprise box for me of what's coming. So we're going to get all that done. Our friends at Viking, we're doing a full setup of Crusaders all the way around. So between the Crusaders with the UPR coilovers in the rear for the solid axle, it's going to be pretty exciting. And I'm still debating. I'm thinking about going back to a full exhaust. I've got something in mind that I want to do on it, but I want to talk to a couple of the manufacturers on that first and see who wants to get on board. So we're at Rogue Race Cars, where we're going to get this blow-off valve issue taken care of right away. But I'll show you a little something. You see the plate, the Beefs 99. Let me flip this thing around here. See, we went with the Beefs 99 on the old 99 because my actual Beefcake plate is on the one of the other vehicles. But if you walk up here, take a look, you'll see Beef 67. This is our 67 Cutlass Gen 3 Coyote Swap 10-speed Vortech supercharged project that we've been working on with the guys over here at Rogue. All right, so we're over here at Rogue Race Cars. My man Rob Lewis, he's the master fabricator here. So again, as you see, we've got this one single blow-up valve here. You see how small the hole is there? And if you give you an idea, this is the flange for this, but these are still, you know, 10, maybe 12 PSI, where this is like 6, maybe 8. And what we're thinking is, tell me your thoughts. What are you thinking there, Rob?
I think we can probably lay one right in here and maybe lay another one right next to it.
Yeah, just because I plan on going maybe 20 pounds of boost, so I really want to get it out there. And we could put the big BV57 that we do on the race cars on this thing, but these small ones, they sound so good. So we're going to go back to 2 blow-up valves on here. We're going to do these race ones, and you guys aren't going to believe how good it sounds when we're all done. We got the hood clearance here. What are you going to do, tack weld it on, you said? Or
yeah, the first one won't be an issue at all. So I'll put this one in, make sure we have plenty of room, and then I might tack this one on, and then maybe even use a little bit of Play-Doh or putty and just slowly shut the hood and make sure we have plenty of clearance here so we don't have any issues, and then we'll make it permanent.
Nice, nice. And then that way with this pipe here that we've got, now the only difference is when you go to take this off, you're probably going to have to pull this one off too, but this pipe's pretty small, so not a huge deal.
Yep,
all right,
clamps comes right off.
Let's get to it. All right, so we got good news, bad news. Bad news, this piping here, steel, it's not aluminum. Vortech does all their piping with aluminum, but now that I remember back 25 years ago, this didn't come with an intercooler originally, so we custom fabricated the intercooler and all the piping, and apparently it was done in steel. That's the bad news. Good news is, my man Rob, plenty 3-inch tubing laying around in aluminum. We've got aluminum flanges for the blow-up valve, so you can't weld steel and aluminum. He's going to get a new pipe fabricated and get us back on the road. So my man Rob here, he's actually clocking the blower a little bit just to change the angle of that tube. Because if you look here, you can see this kind of angles down and this is coming from up. So what if we did something smart, like just make the blower and the piping a little straighter towards each other? How smart is that? And we're probably going to cut 1-2 pounds because, you know, weight is everything. Probably going to get rid of the fiberglass and go to a carbon fiber hood too. So if we can start pulling a little weight out of this thing along the way, and by the time we're done, I'm sure we'll end up having Rob redo all the piping just because we almost always do a big fat ass intercooler and something like that. But we're going to be back on the road here soon. Okay, so now we've got the blower clocked up. You can see where it was at. By moving it back, you put one bend and it goes straight on, because before you had a bend and another bend, and like just seems silly when you can just literally move this, like, what's that, not even quarter of an inch, maybe a little bit, maybe half an inch. You just move that and you got a nice straight shot now, and it takes all them bends out and everything's going to fit that much better. About to do some welding. So you got one piece welded, so we get this other piece welded, and if you look at them welds, he does an excellent job. He's third best in the city, I hear.
If I knew it was gonna be on the internet, I would have done better.
All right, looks way more gooder. Just got to bead roll the ends, and then we're back to, what did you say?
Back to square one.
Square one.
Yep.
Come out, put a blow off valve, take 5 minutes. Yeah, it never works that way, does it?
Then we'll finish welding this and do a couple bead rolls and then be back to it. Let me get it in there just right.
So now we're creating the bead roll. Well, not we, Rob. But the bead roll on a lot of these pipes, we see people blowing off supercharger tubing all the time. And by creating a bead roll, that creates a little bit thicker lip on the end. So it lets that clamp, when it clamps around the blow-off valve or around the blower tubing, that lip is going to help hold that coupler on better, especially when you get into high boost situations and you don't blow your pipe off while you're going down the track. Correct?
Yes, sir. This stuff is a little bit thicker. That's good. Got it?
Yeah.
So the other thing with a bead roll, it'll actually, even on the suction side where you don't actually need a bead roll, it actually gives it some strength. So when you do clamp this down, it doesn't egg shape it or deform it. So this this bead roll actually gives it some rigidity.
Okay, because sometimes people over tighten clamps on aluminum, especially thin aluminum, and it crushes them and de-shapes them.
Right,
and this,
right.
this actually helps that as well.
Yep, this will give you a little bit of rigidity.
Nice. Yep. Sweet. I'm just saying, hey, Rob said don't video yet because you don't want to look stupid on the internet while we're test fitting.
Normally doesn't work the first time, but actually that clears.
So we're just tack welding up right now to see what they look like.
Just a little mock up, and then we're going to not slam the hood, but we're going to
Close the hood. Well,
yeah, I know we're going to be very gentle.
I mean, I think we're, because this, I mean, I think comes, well, that's about there. We're going to see. Let's test it out.
Yep, we'll measure a few times, and then we're going to...
What do you put a little something on there and see if it touches the hood anywhere?
What I'll do, yeah, I'll get a little Play-Doh. We'll put Play-Doh on a couple high spots, a couple areas we think will be close, and then we'll set it down nice and easy, and we'll see if it's touching.
Perfect. 2 of these look way more badass than one of those.
That's the out with the old and busted, new hotness, right?
New hotness.
Yeah, new hotness, old and busted.
It's kind of like trading wives out every couple years, huh? He didn't comment on that. All right, so you put a couple big clay balls on the high spots there, and
yep.
And you put a lot of extra just to see how much
Oh
clearance
yeah,
you
there's
actually.
going to be way more than we need. I'm just trying to get a gauge on. Yep, just see how close the hood is, and I don't think we're going to have any issues. It doesn't appear to have any issues at all.
While you were in the restroom, I kind of pre-checked, but I thought it looked like there was going to be plenty of room. But let's
check, recheck, and check again.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we want to put it all the way down, or?
That was pushed all the way down.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, nothing's even touching. So this part of the hood that we were worried about is actually about right here.
Oh, nice.
So golden, Jerry.
Golden, Jerry. Golden. All right. So basically, then you'll cut the holes out where those go.
Yep. We'll go ahead and run the hole saw down. We'll take these off, obviously, run the hole saw down through them, and weld everything up and make it permanent.
Put a little tea in there, and we'll be good.
What?
He's sitting there smelling. He says it smells good. This is high-tech fabricator parts.
Compound.
Compound.
Right, compound. Right. Technical term.
Technical term. Yeah. Compound. There you go.
So good. So good.
So you got a bit there that fits perfectly inside.
Yep. Drop right down in. So we'll first we'll center drill this so this doesn't walk around and beat the hell out of that, and then we'll hole saw it out.
So instead of thinning the pipe out and making a rounded flange, you just fill in this whole area around each side, so you don't get any leakage.
Yeah, it'll pull. It might pull this flange down a little bit, but with the leverage this has in that gasket, it won't have any issue sealing. So we'll even, with these being actually perfectly flat with one another, we might even be able to put this on the belt sander when we're done.
Nice. So. Flatten it out.
Not sure. We don't know the height. Nice. Pretty easy. Yep. Try not to slip and bleed.
we go.
Nice.
We're
on our way.
Seal it up. Yep.
Stop by, 5 minutes, easy peasy.
Something like that.
Basically, I get inside, clean all those edges up.
Yep, get all the burrs off. So
now we're back to the magic of welding. Of course, can't look directly at it, but I'm only looking through the camera. Now, Vortech sends these with their own gaskets for these, and they're decently thick, so you shouldn't have any issues. But Rob here likes to he likes to put just a little silicone just on there, just to you know,
RTV. Yep.
RTV.
Yep. Just a thin layer, just to help hold the gasket in place, and then it'll just give you a little more room for imperfections.
Okay, perfect. So you got imperfections in your welding?
Of course not. But just in case.
Just a thin layer.
Just a thin layer, just to hold the gasket and everything together when you're putting it on.
Yeah, it doesn't need much. One of the biggest pitas with these is the stickers they put on the bottom so people don't But the problem is now you got to get these things off so you get a good seal. But with some brake clean, as you can see, it comes right off. All right, guys, so again, this is what we had. Pretty much the smallest blow-off valve that Vortech makes. And it can recirculate. That's why it's got a little clip, because this used to actually be a draw-through system. Now it's a blow-through. So you can vent to atmosphere. But you've got these two with these much larger holes. And then you've got this little tiny one. But thanks to my man, Rob Lewis here, Rogue Race Cars. If you're in the greater Cincinnati area or even further away, he's pretty booked up, but he's the man.
Time's a charm.
I don't care what he says. This was over on the other side. Even master fabricators put stuff on wrong. It's not just Phil. When you see Phil forgetting clamps and stuff, sorry, Phil. Everybody does stuff like that.
Never happened. There's no proof.
No proof.
There's no proof.
He snapped
happened.
it off real quick before I got the video.
Never happened.
Well, she's awful tight in there. Better do a little hawk too and spit on that thing with the little WD to slide it on there because it's tight. It's a much tighter fitment than it was before, but everything's going to fit better now with the clamps and everything like that. All right, they're all set up now, looking good. Got some vacuum line ran with a Y, and we're getting ready to fire up. All right, here we go. She's sounding very, very, very good. You can see both those blow-off valves working real good. Under vacuum, they open. That lets the air out. Same thing as when you're going wide open throttle. As soon as you let off, all that air comes rushing back through. Like I talked about how the motor went before, that lets all that come right back through, and it lets it out here instead of going into the blower and breaking your impeller. One thing that's cool when you're driving around, I'm just going to put it in second gear so it can't shift too much. Get that jet engine sound. If you want to drop a gear, then of course once you shift it drops down a little bit, but these race BOVs from Vortech, one of the best sounding blow-off valves out there. All right, as we're driving, you really hear those blow-off valves. blow-off valves are all done. The engine's protected. We don't have to worry about excess air making it back through and damaging the blower. Now it's time to really get out, and we're going to try to get on a little bit more. Waiting on this UPR suspension to show up. Shipped out to us today. Excited for that. Again, stay tuned to the channel and follow the video.